Okay, this video is gonna be about getting my life back on track this fall. So you guys know I took August off of YouTube and I was just struggling to get videos out. I was doing a lot of fun summer things, but I let some of my important tasks slide. It's pretty embarrassing to admit some of these, but I'm gonna go through 5 things that I messed up on, that I have been neglecting, and then I'm gonna go through my plan to get back on track. And this isn't gonna be like an overnight fix. It'll probably take me like the month of September to kind of catch up on some of these things that I was slacking on. So let me know in the comments if you guys have had this situation also, and if you have any tips on how to get my motivation back. I do have an older video all about motivation. I should go back and watch that actually to see if that helps myself. Okay, the first of the 5 things is one of the most awkward because I always tell you guys to get the free QuickBooks certification. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch this video next, but it's basically a free certification that's really great for bookkeepers. So you're supposed to get recertified every year, and I knew I was supposed to get recertified, but I literally just did not do it. I think the certification came out in like the later spring, like maybe April, and it was on my radar. I knew I was supposed to do it, but I was actually really busy with a project then, and I kept not prioritizing it. And then eventually I just passed the deadline, and then I kind of like gave up, and I was like, oh, dang it, I should do that. So first of all, what am I even doing? Like, I don't know. You can tell that I am kind of like off track. But second of all, I don't even know what happens if you miss your recertification, because I've already taken the main long test, but I just need to do the shorter test that teaches me what is new this year. So I don't know if my certification is like suspended or what happens. So I'm gonna need to look into that, what happens and how I can redo it. And then I do partner a lot with Margie, whose business is called Fast and Easy QBO, and she has courses that help you pass this ProAdvisor exam. She gives you like really comprehensive study guides that allow you to just pinpoint the right information. So I'll leave her linked below if you are working on the QuickBooks ProAdvisor exam. I think you get a discount with my code, but I'm gonna have to check and see if I should use her recertification class or if it's too late to do that. Anyways, so that is on my to-do list. All right, number 2 is I am behind on some client work. So my husband's business is one of my clients. I don't know if I would recommend to you to be a bookkeeper for a close family member or not, because you do give yourself a little more leeway if you know the person really well, right? Like that's kind of natural. Like if it was like a really important big client, I would not neglect them ever. But my husband, you know, I'm like, oh, we had this camping trip, like, you know, we didn't have time to do your books. So I've been keeping up obviously on payroll every month because his employees need to get paid. So I've been doing kind of like the bare minimum for I'd say 4 months. So I just need to go back in there. I need to input a bunch of checks and I need to categorize a bunch of transactions. Then I need to pull the bank statements off of the bank website and reconcile everything and then send reports. So again, a little embarrassing to admit. It is true as a bookkeeper, if your client is understanding, then you have a bit of leeway because in theory, they don't need these documents 100% until the end of the year when they're doing taxes. Yes, it is very important that they, you know, keep up and figure out what's going on with their finances throughout the year, but it is possible to do clients like quarterly if you have that understanding, that agreement ahead of time. All right, and the number 3 thing on my list is to work on my new class that is coming out. So we did a pre-launch in August, and I think what I should have done better was just let you guys know about it more. And I don't love like selling stuff to you guys, but it is important that you know about my resources that are available. So this new class is called Bookkeeper Marketing Coach. It goes really in detail about how to get marketing clients. If you're having a hard time getting bookkeeping clients, I'll leave the link in the description box for you. I also have this free masterclass that is the real ways I got my first 3 bookkeeping clients, and that gives you a bit of a preview of the class as well. So if that sounds interesting, definitely check out that free masterclass. All right, number 4 thing on my list is my own business payroll. So this is kind of a long story. I don't know how much you guys care about the details, but it might be helpful if you're a bookkeeper and you know you run into some of these payroll things. So basically, I mentioned before, I'm switching from an LLC to an S Corp. So with that, I become an employee of my business and I take a salary. So I set up my payroll system in Gusto, and I also pay the 2 contractors that work for me through Gusto as well. So that part was easy, but the payroll part is what gets kind of confusing. And my main holdup is the state of Oregon has not processed my paperwork yet for the S Corp because apparently it takes them 6 months or like a super long time to process these documents right now. So I had like this circular problem because I set up my payroll, I started it going, and I needed somewhere to pay the taxes. So you need to set up like this tax account. account, but they wouldn't open the tax account for me unless I was an S Corp, unless that paperwork had gone through, which my accountant did tell me to just go ahead and start running payroll. So basically, I think I need to check in with my accountant and see if he has like a workaround or if this is gonna mess up my end of the year statements and my taxes. But Gusto kept sending me these alerts that my payroll is going to be shut down. So needless to say, that was kind of like stressful and annoying just dealing with this. Payroll is not my strong suit. I think I've mentioned that before. As a bookkeeper, I always just use a payroll company. I have a video about it that looks like this, that's all about should you do payroll as a bookkeeper. So I somehow need to figure out how to reinstate my payroll because apparently it got canceled. And I also never mapped my payroll into QuickBooks. So I was running payroll and it was coming out of my bank account, but I didn't like finish the process in QuickBooks basically because I need to go back and research how to map it. I've done it like once or twice before, but I always like forget in between the times that I have to do it because it's like once a year that I map it, which just means I tell Gusto which accounts in QuickBooks things are supposed to be applied to. And my number 5 issue isn't specifically a bookkeeper issue, but you probably feel my pain because it's a technology issue. So I film my YouTube videos on a phone. I got a new phone. This microphone does not work on the new phone. I figured out I needed this little piece of equipment to plug it into the phone, but it didn't work. I might need a different app. I don't really know, but it's really just causing me to feel discouraged. You know, it's just like those tech holdups. It should be something simple, but it's like as a bookkeeper, I'm like troubleshooting all this stuff by myself. You know, when you're in business for yourself, that is the thing. You gotta have grit and you gotta work through these kind of problems. So I would love to hear in the comments, what is on your to-do list this week? What tasks are you dreading? What things do you feel like you failed at? I'm trying to make a commitment to myself to get back on track and get some of these things done. So let's do that together. All right, thank you guys so much for watching and for sticking with me. I'll let you know as the month progresses how these things are going.